What if America's future doesn't depend on politics, money, or technology, but on God? Charlie Kirk believes that without God, freedom collapses, morality crumbles, and culture itself loses its way. Millions resonate with his message, while others say he's politicizing faith. So today, we'll dive deep into Charlie Kirk's perspective on the real purpose of God, explore the power and controversy of his message, and ask the bigger question, is he right? Quick background: Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, is one of the most outspoken voices connecting faith, politics, and culture. He believes the decline of Christianity in America directly explains today's cultural and political battles. In this video, we'll cover Kirk's core beliefs about God's purpose, how he connects God to politics, morality, and culture, real examples of how this shapes his movement, the strengths and appeal of his vision, the criticisms and risks of his approach, a balanced conclusion, and what it means for us today. God is the foundation of truth and morality. He argues that without God, we drift into relativism, your truth versus my truth. For him, God anchors absolute right and wrong. God is the source of freedom. Kirk insists liberty is only sustainable if rooted in Christian morality. He often says, freedom is not sustainable if you remove Christianity, God, and America's founding. He points to America's founding fathers, claiming they built the nation on Judeo-Christian values. For him, removing God is removing the foundation stone. God in personal life. He emphasizes not just private belief, but public action. God calls people to influence the world, not hide faith behind church walls. Example, at a Turning Point faith event, Kirk said Christianity isn't just personal, but civilizational, meant to shape how we live together. Faith isn't private. Kirk rejects the idea of keep religion at church. He argues faith must influence laws, schools, families, and culture. Politics downstream of culture. Culture downstream of faith. His core idea is that without Christian belief, laws and culture will eventually collapse. The Seven Mountains idea. While not always naming it, Kirk echoes this teaching. Christians must impact government, education, media, business, arts, family, and religion. Spiritual warfare framing. He describes debates over abortion, gender identity, and family as not just political issues but spiritual battles. Examples, on abortion, Kirk calls it the defining moral issue of our generation. On education, he warns that schools without God become tools for indoctrination. On culture, he critiques Hollywood, media, and social platforms as driving society away from God. Clarity and confusion. In a time of shifting morals, Kirk offers absolute standards. God's truth doesn't change. Sense of mission. His framing gives believers purpose. They're part of a larger story, not just spectators. Identity and tradition. He ties Christianity to American identity, giving many a sense of belonging and historical continuity. Mobilization. By saying Christians must act, he turns passive faith into activism, inspiring voter turnout, rallies, and grassroots movements. Emotional appeal. His message taps into feelings of fear losing freedom, but also hope revival is possible. Religion and politics entangled. Critics argue Kirk risks reducing Christianity to a political tool. Instead of Christ as Savior, faith can appear as a party platform. Oversimplifying theology. By focusing heavily on morality and culture, some say he leaves out core elements like grace, forgiveness, love for enemies, or humility. History debate. Historians push back on his Christian nation claim, noting America's founding was influenced by Enlightenment thought as well as faith. Exclusion risk. When God is framed through one ideology, it can alienate non-Christians or Christians with different politics. Tone and style. His confrontational rhetoric appeals to some, but may contradict biblical calls to gentleness and compassion. Secular moral systems. Critics say morality doesn't collapse. Without religion, societies can create ethical systems outside of Christianity. Kirk's vision is powerful because it gives people moral certainty, cultural identity, and motivation. It's why his movement has grown rapidly among young conservatives. But the blending of God with politics raises tough questions. Does tying Christianity to one party distort the gospel? Is cultural victory the same as spiritual faithfulness? And is God's purpose really about saving a nation or saving souls? These are deep questions as critics, and even many Christians, continue to wrestle with. So, what is the real purpose of God according to Charlie Kirk? For him, God is the foundation of truth, freedom, and culture. Without him, America collapses. With him, society can flourish. His message inspires millions, but also divides, because it raises an urgent question. Should God's role be tied to politics, or does that risk losing the heart of faith? I want to hear from you. Do you agree with Charlie Kirk's vision of God's purpose? Or do you think faith should stay out of politics? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into faith, culture, and purpose. Share this video with a friend who needs to think about these issues. Remember, the question isn't just what Charlie Kirk believes, the question is, what do you believe God's purpose really is?